And, we talk about the standings, right? And I think that unless you're like a Hawks or you're like a Orlando Magic team in the East, the rest of the standings don't really matter, because I would love to say that Boston doesn't deserve to have two All-Stars because of where they are in the standings, but they were out of the playoffs 2 days ago, and I think they're like back at the 5 seed now. So like the East is so tight, and everybody besides the top two teams are honestly so bad that how do you properly evaluate which teams deserve to have All-Stars based off of a person's stats?
And it's harder to do this year just because truncated time. We haven't gotten to see people play as much as we would in usual years. And then the East is just a shit show. Like, I looked at Boston's record when the All-Star reserves first came out, and they were like, I think 15-15, and they were outside playoff contention. Yesterday, when I looked at it, they're 17-17, and they're in the 4th seed. So, like, how do you go from outside playoff contention? You're still 500, and now you're the 4th seed in the East. So the East is just in shambles, and that one makes it even harder, because then it's like, who deserves to rightfully be in? Because by that logic, like, why can't Trae Young be in? He is like 4 games behind, but his numbers are great. So with the East as bad as it is, that one makes that one tougher to do. I think the West is pretty rock solid. And the snubs on that side, I find harder to justify them being called snubs. So, like, yes, Devin Booker's team is doing great, but is he really getting in over Dame or Luka or Steph or Donovan Mitchell, whose team is in first place? And if CJ was healthy, like, CJ's probably in also. So if you really look at it, like, Devin Booker, as great a player as he is, a greater scorer as he is, it's not a snub. Like, who are you going to get in over?
Yeah, like, I wanted to see my guy Swipe with a Fox get in this year. Mm-hmm. And he finally has All-Star numbers. But he's a guard in the West.
Sometimes it's just how it's going to shake out. I mean, people for years were saying Dame is constantly getting snubbed. It's like, who is Dame going to start over? You have Steph, Clay, CP3 was like at the height of his powers, and then he went over to Houston, was still doing great. You had James Harden, Russ averaging a triple-double. Like, who is Dame going to start over? So we have these guys we really like who are great for the game, but you have, when you look at it and start saying snubs, who are they going to start over? Who are they going to play over?
I will say Dame deserves to start not over Luka this year.
That one, I'm honestly not. I don't care either way. The numbers are pretty. The scoring numbers are similar. Luka like far outpaces him in rebounds, but Luka is a giant for guards and is just a great rebounder. And then the assists, Luka's doing more also. His usage is higher, but I think they got it right. I'm not mad either way, but I would put Luka in over Dame.
So the reason why I would put Dame in over Luka, because at the time when the starters came out, the Mavericks were around about the 13 seed, I believe, because it was around the time that we did, me and Boink did the pod. It was like maybe that same week, a couple days later. Dallas hadn't been playing well, and Dame had Portland in like the 4 seed.
Dame was like dark horse MVP at that time.
Yeah, like he was, and it's like, hold on, he's a dark horse MVP, and he's not an all-star starter. Like, CJ's gone, Nurk is hurt again, so he was carrying Melo and Derrick Jones Jr. to a top seed in the West, and it was like, come on, man. At what point does winning matter? But I also understand with Luka being a international player, he has that foreign fan audience definitely pouring in those votes. That makes up the difference between someone who's an American-born player who has their fan base of fans of the game, but you don't necessarily have that giant outpouring of people who are supporting you just because of where you're from.